Welcome back to the news at 10. Uncoordinated refuse disposal is believed to be one of the many ways through which disease is spread. Since the outbreak of Lassa fever in November last year, the Lagos State government has been sensitizing the public with the aim of reducing the spread of the disease. This special report on Ojota community assesses the residents' habits to personal and environmental cleanliness.
Since the outbreak of Lassa fever in November last year, the Lagos State government, through the Ministry of Health, has been carrying out public awareness on the disease and precautionary measures needed to be taken to curtail its spread.
We've also embarked on intensive awareness and sensitization campaigns through meetings with different stakeholders, which include market men and women, school teachers, religious leaders, etc.
But how much do residents know about the virus? Our curiosity takes us to Ojota, a densely populated community located in the heart of Lagos. Interactions with some of the residents reveal that majority of them have considerable understanding about Lassa fever and its mode of transmission.
Well, I understand they said it's still caused by dirty environment, maybe rats and other things like that. And you know, Lagos rat is like the trained rat, big and fat. So if the environment is clean, I think the rat will not have much thing to do in the environment.
Lassa fever, as we were told, is associated with rats.
Though these residents seem to engage in regular sanitation of the environment, one common environmental feature is that bagged refuse are noticeably placed on streets. Some are overpiled to the extent of spilling. Besides being harmful to health, uncontrolled refuse dumping attract rodents and other creepy creatures. There are mixed claims from residents over the response on refuse removal by the Lagos State Waste Management Authority, LOMA.
They came once in a week. That's every Monday. Every Monday.
So with their performance, are you satisfied so far?
Absolutely, for now, the way, because everything they move there's nothing around that they left. They pick everything when they come.
Actually, their response, they don't normally respond. They normally come here every Monday, but most of the time they normally delay in their services.
I've been troubling these Loma people. I say, if there is anything you can do, let me give you names in the compound where we are. If there's any way you can get this money from them, that somebody will be paying 3,000, 2,000, 1,005. Something we pay 100 naira a month. Somebody will be paying 3,000, 2,000. So it's not fair.
Several attempts made to get the agency's reactions to these complaints did not yield result. Ojota has an evening market on one of the streets close to Ikorodu Road. Most traders here deal on perishable food items that can attract rodents. With little knowledge about Lassa fever, they are able to maintain precautionary measures to keep their items away from contamination.
As they put them inside container and cover it, anyone will right to touch, I no go eat them, I no go sell them, I go throw them.
At the moment, Lassa fever may not be as pronounced as when it was discovered, but maintaining high level of personal hygiene is one of the simple preventive measures experts say residents can put to practice.
Oh, we're still talking health matters. It's normal to feel tired after a long day at work or a heavy exercise session. But how do you explain being weary, fatigued or even dizzy after short periods of exertion? On our focus on health tonight, our correspondent Yomi Otaigbe reports that there is one medical condition that could explain that feeling.
Everyone needs oxygen to be alive, and the red blood cells in the human body are saddled with the duty of ensuring oxygen circulation. If the number of red blood cells or their oxygen carrying capacity is insufficient to meet physiologic needs owing to a number of factors, including iron deficiency from loss of blood or poor diet, folate, vitamin B12 and vitamin A deficiencies, chronic inflammation, parasitic infections like malaria, and inherited disorders such as sickle cell, then anemia is at work.
Anemia is something you should worry about, and it's like 40 to 50% of people that attend hospital for one reason or the other are usually anemic.
If I see a young child that has iron deficiency, I know it's likely going to be from a nutritional lack, that is not taking in enough of iron at that age. If I see someone in the maybe 30, 40, 50 having anemia, if it's a lady, the first thing I'll be thinking is she losing iron? Maybe from irregular menstrual flow, heavy menstrual flow, you know. If it's maybe around 50, I'll be wondering, does she have a tumor somewhere that is causing her to lose blood? In the pregnant woman, it is not only insufficient intake, but because there is an increased need of iron. So that's why you find out that pregnant women too are at risk. We say 30% of the world has anemia. So I know that by chance, if 30 people who were well or who apparently were not sick comes into this hospital, I will expect maybe 30% of them to be anemic.
Anemia goes undetected in many people, and the symptoms can be minor or vague. But if left untreated, the symptoms might become more severe.
One of the common features of anemia is easy fatigability. That means you start to notice that you get tired easily. You might have been able to walk 2 or 3 stairs before, and now you just take 1 step and you're tired. Sometimes you can notice that your heart starts to beat so fast when you've just done, just a few steps or so. Some might have headaches. Sometimes you hear noises in your ears, and if the anemia is not treated early, they can start having symptoms of cardiac failure.
It's important to treat anemia, and proper treatment could only commence after diagnosing the cause of the condition by checking the packed cell volume, PCV, which is the percentage of red blood cells in circulating blood.
How long does it take to check the PCV?
Okay, it depends on what we're doing. If we're doing the manual PCV, it takes at max 10 minutes.
So since it doesn't take such a long time to check the PCV, can I check mine?
Okay.
In the adult male, you will expect that for every 100 ml of blood that you have collected from that individual, the amount of red cell that should be there should be between 40 to 50%. In adult females, it should be between 36 to 42%. And in children growing, you expect the PCV to be anything between 33 and 37%.
Okay, so this is your results.
Thank you. You may want to find out the reason for that persistent feeling like you want to pass out, shortness of breath or fatigue by walking into any medical laboratory to check if you are anemic or not. Yomi Otaigo reporting for Channels Television News.
Well, constant health checks is a mandatory thing to do. We're moving over now to Imo State, and the State Governor, Rochas Okorocha, is asking the Niger Delta Development Commission to embark on projects including building of a power supply station and railroad transportation system that would connect the 9 states in the region. The governor said this when he hosted the acting managing director of the commission, Mrs. Ibim Seminateri, at the government house in Owerri, the Imo State capital. He asked the managing director to concentrate on projects that will impact on the people.
Let them stop this scattering of roads. Let them stop all these boreholes. Nobody is that. Let them stop all this. Just go for a project, power, or rail lines to connect these 9 states. If you can do a rail line now connecting these 9 states, with the 4 coming candidates, it will not come to you for a time here. So make an effort yourself within this short time you'll be in office. Get one project that lifts all of us, so all of us can become one. I can't go to Bayelsa. Listen now, I can't go to Bayelsa. Just 1 hour drive from here. What kind of a thing is that? That's what NTS is supposed to do for the 9 states. So do for major project and avoid these boreholes and please let them remove them from Imo State. boreholes. Let them remove from Imo State renovation of primary schools. Let them remove from Imo State renovation of health centers. I've done all that.
From inception to date, the NDDC has delivered on 272 projects in Imo State. This is what I received as my brief upon resumption. However, it was important I came to appraise myself and see these projects myself. We have therefore started our tour around the states and noticed that some of the projects were doing quite well and some of them were not doing as well. Your Excellency, what we're doing is in keeping, of course, with your vision as leadership of the APC and Mr. President, who has insisted that every Nigerian must get value for money of every kobo spent by the federal government of Nigeria.
Well, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Abuja has challenged graduates of the institution to play active roles in pulling the country out of its current developmental challenges. Professor Michael Adiku gave this challenge today at the combined convocation ceremony of the university. Also at the event, a national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Chief Bola Tinubu, said the present situation facing the country requires all Nigerians to make sacrifices. Our correspondent, Larry Lassa, has the report.
Traditional rulers, federal ministers, federal lawmakers, and captains of industry all gather for the combined convocation ceremony of the University of Abuja. It's an occasion to formally give awards to undergraduate and postgraduate students from 2009-2010 session to the 2014-2015 session. The occasion commences with the investiture of the Chancellor of the University, the Emir of Zaria. The Chancellor appeals to the federal government to help develop the university.
We appeal for a consideration of the University of Abuja for a special grant to enable the university to complete all the ongoing projects and accelerate the development of its main campus.
The Vice-Chancellor of the university encourages the graduates to take active role in pulling the country out of its present economic downturn.
I urge you to use your personal initiatives and seize the opportunities that still abound in the country to be self-employed. The country's road to a sustainable economic development lies in the creative ability of the citizens to turn themselves into turn adversities into opportunities.
One after the other, graduating students of the different faculties rise to formally receive their degrees. Next are those who receive the Doctorate of Philosophy. 4 honorary degrees are also awarded. First to the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Idris Kutugi, former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Aloma Mukhtar, former Governor of Lagos State, Senator Bola Tinubu, and former Vice President, Dr. Alex Ekweme, was represented by his daughter. Speaking for the recipients, Senator Bola Tinubu thanks the university for the degrees and encourages everyone to see the convocation as a chance for a new beginning in the task of nation building.
If you ask me to describe the state of the nation now, I will say it is difficult, but encouraging. The journey we have embarked upon will not be easy. It requires all of us to make sacrifices and persevere until we achieve. What we must not do is fail, and we shall not fail.
Over 25,000 graduates bagged various degrees, with 8 students completing their courses with first-class honors and 2,324 students with second-class upper division. Larry Lassa, Channels Television News.
A mixed week it's been for the financial markets. Let's join Anne Wawodo in our business studios for today's business news.
Thanks
Thanks, Harriet. Welcome to Business News. Industrial pharmacists in Nigeria want allocation of foreign exchange to the pharmaceutical subsector in order to secure local production of drugs. According to some of the operators, not being able to access forex at the interbank market has brought about reduction of raw materials needed for production. The operators warn of medical drugs shortage by the second quarter of this year.
All the APIs we import, raw materials, packaging materials, machineries, everything are imported. So we are highly forex dependent. The good thing is that in a year, the industry is reported to be about $2 billion size. So what we're asking for really is not so much, to grow the sector, as it were. So it is our prayer that the government will look into a preferential allocation of forex to the pharma subsector so that we don't run out of raw materials and finished formulations.
The raw material now, they are all evaporating. They are really going down. By first quarter or second quarter, they may not have anything to produce. And then the stock available now, they are all going down. By second quarter, you may not have, the implication, you may not have drugs in Nigeria.
The overnight interbank lending rate held steady over the week at an average of 1%, and that's after an injection of cash from retired matured treasury bills into the banking system by the central bank boosted liquidity. Traders say about 257 billion naira had been put into the system in matured open market operation bills, and that happened on Thursday, which of course is the usual day for any intervention. Lending rate at the interbank market had jumped to around 4.71% for overnight and 4.08% for secured open buyback. That also happened on Wednesday after commercial lenders moved cash to the central bank to back their planned foreign exchange purchases. Traders say that they see interbank lending rate stable around this present level next week by the time January budgetary allocations to government agencies are disbursed and refunds of cash banking or backing for forex purchases hit the market. A turnover of 4.476 billion shares worth 11.7 billion naira in 14,124 deals were traded this week by investors on the floor of the exchange. The NSE All-Share Index and market capitalization depreciated by 0.83% and 0.80% to close the week at 24,228.79 and 8.3 trillion naira respectively. 21 equities appreciated in price during the week, and this was led by Seplat with a 12.40% gain. Unity Bank was up by 11.67%, while Learn Africa gained 11.11%. Meanwhile, 35 equities depreciated in price. Live feed stocks led the chart with a drop of 12.98% from its share price. Diamond Bank and Sky Bank were also among the price laggards. The consumer goods industry led the activity chart with 3.331 billion shares valued at 5.695 billion naira and traded in 2,511 deals. And it's a wrap on business news for tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Anne Umawadu. Back to you, Harriet.
Thank you, Anne. Still ahead on the news at 10, Swiss tennis star Stanislas Wawrinka wins second ATP title of 2016 with a 6-4, 7-6 victory over Marcus Baghdatis at the Dubai Championships. That's on Sports News. Stay with us.